jump in too soon and just start talking about Beachbody, I would run people off. And very often now in the conversations that I'm having when I first friend somebody, I don't bring up Beachbody at all, ever. I don't even try to steer it that way. I let the conversation end without ever steering it that way at all. And then, lo and behold, 3, 4, 5 days later, a week later, sometimes even a month later, I'll make some kind of post about somebody's great results in a challenge group or whatever, and they'll come back and ask me questions. And it's just a better way to get things going. It's not salesy. It doesn't come off as salesy because it's not salesy, but you're creating those relationships and building those opportunities. It does take a little bit longer than some methods, but is, I would say, exponentially more successful.
Really duplicatable.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it doesn't mean that you can't be talking about Beachbody in the first conversation, because that certainly happened with me. I've friended somebody, and then within the first 3, 4, 5 minutes, they're asking me what I do, and I tell them what I do, and then they're asking me about it, and then, I had a guy last week that I friended, and an hour and a half later, he bought a challenge pack, and he's going to be in our challenge group starting on July 14th. So it does happen that way. I'm not telling that to brag, Matt. You don't have to grow up.
I'm happy for you.
I'm saying that it doesn't mean it's slow, but it does mean that you can't force it. You don't want to force it. If it's there, it's there. If it's not, let it develop on its own. It will. And, I'm really jealous of you ladies on the call, because if you look at the top most successful Beachbody coaches, Matt and I sat at Summit, we counted the people. Out of the 50 some odd elite coaches that walked up on stage that were, awarded elite coach for 2013, like 98% of them were ladies. Of the 18 new millionaires that walked on stage at Summit, people that made $1 million or more in 2013, 17 of them were ladies. One of the 18 was my upline coach, Josh. So, ladies have a huge advantage in this business, and we're kind of trying to figure out why it's going that way, but it is going that way. But I think, honestly, part of it is that ladies are far more relatable, and other ladies are far more comfortable with joining ladies and doing things to get other ladies, whereas guys, we tend to be more maverick, independent spirit, and say, I don't need Matt's help to do this, I can do it on my own. And so we're not maybe joiners as much. But irregardless of what the reasons are, I'm jealous of you guys, because I think you have a built-in advantage in the business, or at least it's being proven out to be that's the case.
That's it. All right, so awesome. But the second thing is now, once you're reaching out to people and friending them, could you give her a quick example of a short conversation? What's the text on how you friend them?
So, with me, I typically go and I find people on group pages. So pages where, it's a page that's related to something that I'm into, something I like. It could be scuba diving. It could be tennis. It could be, Freemasonry. It could be any number of things. But I'll usually go in and I'll find that person on the group page, find a comment or a post that they made, comment it, and say, hey, I noticed your comment. I completely agree with that. I'm reaching out to connect with other like-minded people. If you're open to connecting, shoot me a friend request.
Now,
and the reason I do that is because I've been put in face jail a few times, and I'm trying to avoid that. Right, where if you send somebody a friend request and they say, I don't know this person, Facebook will put you in jail for 7 days. That's the other advantage that ladies have, I think, is that they don't get put in Facebook jail like guys do. Quite as often. But, I'll usually start it out there and then just follow the natural thread of it. When you're getting to know somebody, questions come up, that's great, what do you do for a living? I'll always ask that. That's a natural kind of leading question that they're going to follow up with. This is what I do. What do you? And then I answer, and I'll tell them that I won't even use the name Beachbody in it. I'll just say, I their health and fitness. It's something that I did. I'm a huge passion of mine. And now, today I work for trying to be a coach or anything. Just I help people with health and fitness, and it's just usually just following along in those kinds of progressions in a conversation. If I ask them what they do for a living and they tell me, and then they don't ask me back, I won't go ahead and tell them what I do. Just talking about what they want to talk about.
You're really starting to break up.
I don't know, the great thing about
For some reason.
social media. For most people, talking about themselves makes them feel good. What's that?
You're really starting to break
What's
up.
that?
Bad.
Matt?
You're.
Okay. Hold on. I'm going mobile.
He's going mobile. He's going mobile. He's getting closer. All right. The second thing too, and real important, is that you're posting 3 times a day. Your hottest times to post are 9 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock noon, 5 o'clock, and 8 o'clock. Probably the 2 hottest times are 9 and 8 o'clock at night. Save your best post for 8 o'clock at night. That's when everyone puts their kids to bed. They got a little bit of time, and they're online. Your 3 types of posts are motivational post, a nutrition or fitness tip, and then something personal. And probably like every 2 or 3 days, throw in a review of a workout. Like for you especially, if you mention something about plyo, you'll get a ton of ladies going, oh my gosh, that sounds awesome. You're not saying it's for sale or anything. You're just saying that, hey, I just got my plyo, and then you show them a picture of it or so, and I just rocked it for 3 days. It's awesome, low impact. I'm really excited. And that's all you say. And then boom, 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 you'll start to get comments on it. Or after a few days, when people hit your page to check you out because you tried to friend them, they want to check you out, they'll look through and they'll see plyo. Huh. So probably every 3 days, do a review of a product. That's it. And in Josh's training, Hootsuite, are you familiar with Hootsuite? Gotcha. All right. Hootsuite is priceless. So on Saturday, I now do all my posts for the whole week on Hootsuite. And I line them up, boom, 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 boom. I try to get in 3 or 4 of them a day, and it's all done. So those 2 things there are my number 1 priority, and I try each night to get at least those 2 things done. I'll try to friend at least 20 people, and but I usually get about 5 to 6 or so back, and then I'll get conversation from them too, and then I'll start to work the conversation and rank people according to how hot they are. Are they cold, warm, or hot? And have I invited them to a 30-day challenge? Have I invited them to be a coach? So I'll send you out my Excel spreadsheet. That might help you out.
Okay.
That's it.
I have 2 separate Facebook pages. I do like my fitness stuff separately. Do you suggest to have 2 different ones or just have 1?
The top coaches all have 1. The reason why is you want your people to fall in love with you. You want them to get to know you. If you go to tracymorrow.com, if you go to Josh Spencer Facebook page, Barbie Decker, all the top coaches, you'll see that, well, now they have a few pages only because they maxed it out in their marketing, but you want them to get to know you and then to, you know, they'll start to have a relationship with your post, and as you see them like your post, you start to engage with them. So I would have one Facebook page. What do you recommend on that, Mike?
So I would say the caveat to that is if you're going to have a page where you have your customers loaded